And woo!
Yeah!
Woo!
Yeah!
Woo! Woo! Welcome back to another episode of Convos with your mom's favorites with host Moe and Greg. I am Mo.
I am Greg.
And we are back. We are back.
Oh, man.
With another episode for who?
The people.
For the people. Uncle G, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I am doing well. I am doing well. I'm great. We talked about it off mic, but that was honestly, got some great news yesterday, and that was honestly the best news I could have received in a long time.
That was
some
good news.
Yeah. So I am really excited about that. But we are here to pod, and pod we shall. Starting with last night.
Let's just get right in it.
Yeah, jump right in it. I watched a movie yesterday, and I started watching it like super late because Hogwarts Legacy still has me just in a chokehold.
It sounds like you and everybody else from what I've been reading about it.
That game still has me in a chokehold. And like, I sat down to watch the movie, but when I turned on, if you put my PlayStation, if you put it in rest mode, then when you turn it back on, it just continues where you left it.
Okay.
Like it doesn't turn off, but it's kind of like it goes to sleep.
Like a sleep mode.
So that I could still like charge a controller if I'm not playing. Like, so it goes to sleep, but then when you turn it back on, it's like, hey,
takes you right back where you were.
Takes you right back to where you were.
Gotcha.
So you turn on my PlayStation, and Hogwarts Legacy was the last thing I played. So like I sat down to watch a movie, but then that was on, and I was like, let me just do this. I'm like, let me just do this one thing. And then I'll watch the movie
2 hours later. 3
yeah,
hours later.
Then we still hadn't. So I started watching Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah.
Which is another movie nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, which is this Sunday.
Yes.
Right. And you said the movie was great.
Yes.
Which gave me hope.
Yeah.
Right.
I knew nothing. I watched this movie totally blind. I knew nothing about it except that it was nominated, and I was trying to watch the nominated pictures. But then I heard certain people give endorsements about it on TV. I said, "Well, all right." I said, and Woody Harrelson is in it, and
right.
I kind of like Woody Harrelson.
Exactly.
So I said, let me give it a watch. But go ahead.
So I go and I put the movie on, and I start watching this movie. And it starts off, if we're being honest, right? It starts off like all the Best Picture movies start off.
Yeah.
They all have like this super creative, like out of left field opening, right?
I was going to ask you what you thought about that because I was like, is this what this movie is about?
Right. And I'm like, this is really what we're about to watch? But for Best Picture, it didn't surprise me that this movie is in the category for Best Picture because this is what they look for.
Yeah, this is the kind of quality, I guess you could say, for lack of a better terminology, that they're looking for in quote unquote Best Picture.
So I said, cool, fine, no problem. It starts off, I'm like, we're gonna get through this.
Yeah. And
then the scene starts to just it drags. Like it drags on.
Oh my gosh.
And I was already tired watching the movie because again, like I said, Hogwarts Legacy had me in a chokehold. So yesterday was Wednesday. I did not go to sleep Tuesday until 4 a.m. playing this game. And then I was up again
tired
at like 9 because my body hates me and it just doesn't believe in sleeping late anymore.
Yeah.
So I was up again at like 9. So, I was tired because that's not a lot of sleep. So I'm like, all right, this movie needs to please pick up before I shut it off. And then it doesn't really do much, honestly. Like the dinner scene was a bit cringy.
Yeah, it was definitely. It was cringy, but I kind of laughed. I laughed all through the dinner scene. Not that it was supposed to be funny, but I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it from being like on a viewer on the outside looking in, and I'm looking at, so in other words, you're looking at this couple, this couple going back and forth, and I'm looking at the guy, and I'm like, dude, you are saying all the wrong things.
All the wrong things.
You are saying
all the wrong things. You're not.
I'm like, you are going to bed alone tonight.
Yes, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, listen, I'm like, I get the point that you're trying to make.
I get it exactly, but
now is
it's
not the time to make that point. Now is not the time to make that point.
Nah.
And I want to give the movie credit and kudos because I felt like I was in the restaurant with them as they're having this argument and discussion over who pays the bill.
Dude, if I had been sitting at a table near him, I would have did like this. I would have reached over to him and did like this, grabbed him by the shoulder and been like,
Don't do that. Just pay for it.
Pay for it.
Just pay for the dinner.
Don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing. Just pay for the dinner. And have a great night.
Yeah, that part. So I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, dude, you are messing up.
He's messing up. Then I laughed hysterically when her name, we're going to use character name. His name was Carl.
Yeah.
And the lady's name was Yaya.
Yeah.
So Yaya goes to swipe her card and it gets declined. Oh, I laughed hysterically.
Oh, that was funny.
Because what you can't do is brag about you making way more money than me, and then your card gets declined. You can't brag about having more money than me, and then your card declines.
I was like, wow, that's fucked messed up.
I was laughing hysterically.
Edit that.
Oh, but yes, I was like, dog, bro, I was no good, right? So then, they get through that, and then he goes to storm off, and then that scene at the elevator was just super weird because I'm like, bro, just argue, either get in the elevator and argue,
or let the elevator go,
or get out the elevator and argue.
But don't hold it up.
Don't hold it up.
Yeah.
But I was like, honestly, I don't know how any of them got through that scene with a straight face.
Me neither.
Because if I had been inside the elevator, I'd have been hysterical laughing at you trying to hold the elevator every time you have one more thing that you need to say.
One time I thought she was almost away, and then he somehow or another he got the elevator door to come back open again. I was like, wait a minute, how did he do that?
How did he do that? Because once the doors close, you're going to your next destination. So what superpowers do you have to get this elevator back? Right? So awesome. They make up.
Yeah,
and then they get to the yacht.
Yeah.
Now, for no other reason than the yacht, part 2, because they broke it up into parts. Part 2 was called The Yacht. If this movie wins Best Picture, I get why, because the yacht, that entire part was the funniest thing I have ever seen
that was
in a movie.
Hysterical.
From the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, yo, these people are like, from the pump up scene with the crew pumping themselves up to then I'm like, okay, so is it just going to be the two of them on this yacht? Like, whose yacht is it?
Whose yacht
what is going on? Come to find out, it's a extreme luxury cruise.
Yeah. Extreme.
Extreme.
Everybody on here is uber rich.
Yes.
Uber
extreme
rich.
Luxury cruise. So then I'm sitting here, right? And most times if you're watching a movie and it's predictable, it's annoying.
Yeah. Yep.
With this one, I kind of knew what was happening because I knew this train is about to wreck, but in the most glorious way that it possibly can. And I want to sit and watch
this
exactly as it happened. I want to watch it unfold.
Yeah.
So it starts off, Carl and Yaya, they're like sunbathing. And then one of the crew members, he's like, all right, boys, let's show I think he called them like Americans or tourists or something.
Yeah.
And then he takes off his shirt and he's smoking a cigarette and he's just like this hot German guy. And Yaya just keeps looking at him and Carl's getting upset. And I'm like, bro, Carl, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Because, you already lost the dinner.
Yeah.
You already lost the dinner. But then, in true Carl fashion, he shows honestly, he's like, he's really insecure. Carl has
got
really
real insecurity issue, and he was the model. If I'm
yes,
and it's like, how you gonna be a model and you insecure?
And you insecure.
Yeah, but go ahead.
So he gets the guy fired.
Yeah, I thought that was jacked up.
Yeah, that was messed up. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, that was jacked
Like,
up.
you don't want to cause trouble, but you know that reporting him
It's going to cause trouble.
is going to cause trouble.
You knew that.
You knew that.
You knew that. It's like you knew that.
You knew that. So he gets the guy fired, and then he looks at engagement rings. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
But that doesn't play out. So, they keep going. Like, days happens. And then a couple of cringy scenes, like the scene with the lady trying to get the employee to get into the jacuzzi.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of...
I was like, it was a little cringe worthy.
Again, just imagine you're on this big luxury cruise where in the beginning of it, your bosses tell you, do whatever it is the people ask you. Do whatever it is asked you. Do whatever it is asked you. We are here to please them. We're here to please them. And then the one thing that one of them asks you to do is something that you cannot do.
Right.
Now, what the lady asked her was all right, I want you to come and get in the jacuzzi with me. You got to enjoy yourself too. Even you're on the ship. I want you to enjoy yourself the way I'm enjoying myself. And the crew worker is like, I can't do that. I can't do that. She's like, yes, you can. Aren't you supposed to do whatever it is we ask you to do?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah. And
I was like, bro, just the emotional dilemma that she was in.
she was in. It was so funny to me.
It was so fun. And I'm like, I'm like, what you gonna do, lady? Like, and then she acquiesces and she gets in the jacuzzi.
She gets in the jacuzzi.
And then everyone has to take a swim
Now,
on the boat.
yep.
Like, all the employees.
Now, everybody's got to do it. Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, how could this? I said, okay, this is the start of a glorious train wreck.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't see how you top this pool scene where everyone has to like jump in and take a swim.
Yeah.
And then the captain's dinner takes place.
Yeah. That's when everything goes crazy.
I'm shown how it could get worse.
Yeah.
For everyone and how this train wreck could happen. So because everyone had to take a swim, all of the food was left sitting out.
Yep.
I said, you don't want seafood.
That's right.
He said it. That's why that's
right.
He said the food's going to go bad, but we've got to take a swim.
Yep.
You don't want seafood sitting out and you're on dry land.
Yeah.
You're on dry land and you don't want seafood sitting out because that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
You're on a boat.
Yeah.
And because the captain was drunk and trying to just avoid everyone, they had the captain's dinner on the worst night possible.
The captain was played by Woody Harrelson, who in just a short time he's in this movie gives an incredible performance.
Yes.
He gives an absolutely incredible performance.
But that is to be expected of Woody Harrelson and just everything he plays in.
Yeah.
So the captain's dinner happens. The ship is like rocky, like tossing from side to side. Big time tossing from side to side. That was what it was like for us when we went on the cruise for my dad's 60th birthday. That first night, exactly like that.
Ooh.
It was not good at all.
No, that's not good.
Like, everybody was like kind of just walking on the side.
Yeah.
Nobody was really like standing straight. Glasses were like falling off the table. So then everybody comes in. Captain's table. He's greeting everyone. They're eating dinner. Now, mind you, this is extreme luxury, and maybe I just have you could say I have a broke person's palate, because none of that food,
none of it,
was anything that I would even attempt to eat.
No, most people would have been like, like you or I. I might have tried to taste it, but it's not. There were certain things that they served. I would have looked at it and said, I'm not eating that. I'm not
because
eating it.
You can open an oyster, but I'm not going to eat it.
So here's the thing. I would have opted to do, because everybody else was eating all this high-end, really, really, really high-end seafood and seafood dishes. Woody Harrelson as the captain, they brought him out. They were bringing all these big giant, these big named of seafood dishes, and they said, and for the captain, we have French fries and hamburger and a cheeseburger.
And I'm like, excuse me, I need one of those.
I want one of those.
I need one of those. This, keep this. Put this on the side. Like, keep that. I want one of those.
I need one of those.
I can't eat seafood. I'm allergic. I could die.
Yeah.
I need one of those.
I need
thanks.
I need a cheeseburger and some fries.
And, it starts off just okay, and then it goes left.
Yeah.
Because one after another, the entire guests, like all the guests just start getting seasick and just start like vomiting everywhere. And again, I will say it again, because it is the one thing I found wrong in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever in life do I need to see people throw up.
Nah, I could
even for comedic purposes.
I could have did without that. It was like, and they really went in on this.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, like I started getting queasy watching it. Especially when the Russian lady, cause she threw up and then she drank the champagne, but then she started chewing. I said, oh my God. She's chewing it. She's chewing it.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was just so disgusting. So disgusting. But then it just gets worse from there.
It
just gets worse.
And just when you think it can't get worse, it gets worse.
So like everyone's like throwing up except for the crew, the captain, and the Russian guy who made his fortunes in selling
feces.
Fertilizer is what he called it.
Fertilizer is what it was, but that's not what he called it.
That's not what he called it. But right, so that's what he sold. And then they're like, everybody else is just dying and just throw up is everywhere, like vomit is everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like it panned to one dude who was just like sitting on the toilet and he's got like explosive diarrhea, but he can't stop throwing up. Like, I'm just like, bro, it's just, and one, I've been there, bro. Yeah. And that right there is not a good time.
That is not fun. At all.
That is just not a good time. And then I'm like, bro, but then when the toilet exploded and it just went everywhere, I said, oh my God.
At that point, I probably would just threw myself over the side.
For real.
I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm done.
But it's just like, it's funny though. Like watching all of these people suffer, it's funny. And then to make it worse, the Russian guy gets a hold of the PA system and he's like, the ship is going down. The ship is going down. We have to get out of here. God. So now you see people sick, putting on life jackets, trying to just like.
That part was pure comic genius.
Because when that lady fell down the stairs trying to get out, I lost it. I
was screaming. I had to put it on. I had to pause it to get myself back together.
I said, that scene was just hilarious. And then, it was a train wreck. Like I said,
it was
train wreck.
Monumental.
But it was glorious and hilarious and some of the funniest.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was intentional or not, but some of the funniest cinema I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only for it to, and then you think it can't get any worse than this night.
And but it gets worse.
It gets worse because pirates. Pirates. How do you make this already bad situation worse? Pirates.
This is what we need to make it worse.
Pirates. And then the funniest thing was because there was a lady, an old couple who was on the ship, on the yacht as well, and they made their fortune because they created the hand grenade.
Yeah. They sold munitions.
Yes, his family, he created and was responsible for hand grenades.
And landmines.
Yes, and landmines.
Yeah.
So that scene where the grenade landed on the yacht and she picked it up and said, honey, isn't this one of ours?
I'm sitting there like, what?
Who picks up a grenade?
Who picks up a grenade?
Who picks up a grenade?
I was like, now you're on a luxury liner, luxury ship. All of a sudden, a grenade comes comes out of nowhere and lands on the deck. What in your right? What in this
Hello.
world would make you want to say, you know what? Let
I'm
me
gonna
see
pick
what
it
I'm
up.
gonna pick this up.
Let me see what that does.
If I did pick it up, it would have been to throw it right back over
Hello?
the side.
I'm tossing it as soon as I see
As
it.
soon as I see it. Yeah. She
So,
was
she
was
picks it up.
examining it.
And then it blows up. And when the ship when it blew up,
Yeah.
again, no more good was I.
Yeah. That was
Because I was rolling,
I was like,
almost on the floor laughing.
yeah.
And then, of course, the pirates, you never see any of this, but the pirates end up on the ship and you just hear a whole bunch of screaming and a whole bunch of shooting.
Yep.
And then they leave the yacht. And then the next thing you know, they're on the island.
The yacht has sank.
Yes, the yacht is sank and they're on the island. And then that island scene, it was cool, but honestly, it didn't top the yacht.
No, it didn't top the yacht. The island scene, that's when the movie kind of shifts and you started seeing the underlying things that were going on in the movie, like the classism, the
Yes.
racism,
Yes.
and all those other kind of isms that was going on, because you start seeing all of that stuff start to transpire on when they're finally on, like with the black guy.
Yes.
The guy was
The pirate. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He was one of the pirates.
Was he one of the pirates?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
If you pay attention, if you rewatch the movie,
No.
and the ship
I
is
missed
like,
that. See, there was like so much
as
stuff
the
going
pirates are like pulling up, you see him with the same yellow shirt and scarf. He's one of the pirates.
heck. And yeah. Well, good.
That's why the Russian guy was like, I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah, like who are you?
Who are you? He was one of the pirates.
Wow. That's
He was
right.
one of the pirates.
Oh well.
Yes. He wasn't on the ship prior to he's the reason the ship sank. He's one of the reasons the ship sank.
There. Yep. He was a pirate. Yep. Okay. Now I got that. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it.
But and then you got to see just what happens when the people with all the real power
Yeah. Now
realize the power they have. And then the shift happens because she's because one of the ladies who was smart got out, and the
Abigail.
yes, Abigail,
She was one of the cleaners.
one of the cleaning people.
She was one of the cleaners. She was so if you had to have on if there were levels of service on the ship, the level she was at the lowest level.
At the bottom.
She was at the bottom of that.
the
So
bottom.
she and what's really interesting for me, and like I said, with the classism and the racism stuff started coming out, is that all of them were like Hispanic, Mexican, and
Yes.
and in that race. And,
Yes.
and it was like, wow.
Because be honest, I mean, if let's be honest about it, who else is gonna do it?
Yeah. Yep.
Who else was gonna do it?
Matter of fact, the night of the the massive throw up, that cleaning crew was out there cleaning. They was out there cleaning that stuff.
You couldn't pay me enough.
No.
You could not pay me enough.
I said, I quit. You can make me walk the plank.
Do whatever you got to do.
What you got to do. Clap me in irons and put me in the brig. I ain't cleaning none of that.
I'm not cleaning any of it. I'm not doing. You could.
Nah.
No amount of money in the world
Nah.
was worth cleaning up that mess.
I would have came and peeked in the room and looked at it and said, you know what?
Nope.
I quit.
Not me.
I quit.
Nope. I quit. But yeah, she realized once she
Yeah.
because at first she realized she got in that the escape boat.
The escape boat. She was the only one and it was. But did you see how they did her?
Yes.
How they did her, and she comes up. She washes up on the shore in the escape boat. That she was only smart enough. She was one of the few people smart enough to get in
Yep.
and get
get
off
to.
get to. So the boat washes up on the shore now, and they see the boat. The cruise director sees the boat, and she recognizes. She knows where the boat is from. She runs over to the boat, and they're banging on the doors. They open it up. They see Abigail inside. Now you would think that they would ask her, "Are you all right? Is anybody else? Did anybody else get off the boat with you?" They looked at because at this point they're hungry. They look at her and they say, "All right." Now the cruise director says, "Is there water in there? Is there food in there?" And she was like, "Yeah." And so she's like, "Well, give it to us." She passed it out to us, and then so Abigail immediately, because that's the way she's been trained and conditioned to work. When she said that, she started passing stuff out, and then she kind of like caught herself. And she took some of the stuff and started putting it in her bag. But even in that, then the lady puts her head back in the door and says to her, "Will you hurry up and pass that out?" I'm looking at her like,
come get it.
Yeah, come inside and get it yourself. I was like, wow.
But then she realized when she said she went and caught something. She caught some octopus.
That part was absolutely
brilliant.
Brilliant.
It was brilliant.
Brilliant.
It was brilliant. She said, "One for you, one for me."
And they were so caught up in themselves. They didn't. When I heard her go, "One for you and one for me," and then she said, "Two for you and two for me," I was like, "Wait a minute, nobody hears what she's saying?"
Nope, not until it was too late. And she realized
nobody hears what she's saying. And I'm sitting there like, so she was giving everybody, because now again, maybe we need to tell this. She caught the octopus.
Yes.
They didn't know these rich people didn't know how to set up a fire. She had to start the fire. Nobody knew how to clean the octopus, so she had to clean the octopus. Nobody knew how to cook the octopus, so she had to cook that too. So she did all of this stuff, and now she's doling out the octopus. She's giving it out to everybody. She's like, "One for you, one for me, one for you, one for me, two for me, one for you, three for me, one for you," and they're not listening to her because they're figuring that they're going to eat all going to share.
Yep.
And so she finally gets out, and everybody's had a piece of the octopus, but yet she's got this big pile of mound of food in front of her, and they're like, "Oh, well then." "Oh, you got enough to give everybody some more." And they were going, and now they said, "You have enough to give everybody some more." And not asking her, but they were going to take it.
Yeah.
And she puts her hand over it. She was like, "No."
This is mine.
She said, "This is mine."
Mine.
And they said, "What?" She's like, "No, this is mine." She said, and again, the cruise director in a big giant play of white privilege looks at her and says to her, "No, it's not yours. You are an employee of this yacht company, and so therefore we are still supposed to be serving these people." And she said, "What yacht?"
She said, "Where's the yacht?
"Where's the yacht?
Where is it?
Where is it?"
What yacht? What yacht?"
She said, "I caught the octopus. I cleaned the octopus. I started the fire to cook the octopus. I cooked the octopus. I did all the work. Therefore, this is mine."
This is mine.
She said, "This is mine."
And then she said,
That part was hilarious. Go ahead.
when she said, "On the yacht, I clean."
Because they were telling her, "You're the toilet manager. You're the toilet manager."
She said, "On the yacht, I clean. Here, I'm the captain."
"I'm the captain." I was like, "Oh, snap."
I said, valid point. If she don't catch no more octopus, y'all gonna die.
"Y'all gonna die."
Because y'all can't start no fire. Y'all don't know how to catch no food.
Yep.
Y'all don't know how to...
Didn't know how to do nothing.
None of that. So, there's a power shift.
Yep. There was a big
There was
power.
a big power shift, and she ruled with an iron fist. She ruled with an iron fist.
She could have anything she wanted and proved it because she looks over at what's his name? Carl, and who's still there with Yaya, and decides she wants him.
She said, "I want you. If you want to eat, come on.
He said, "Come."
Let's go.
He was like, "Come
Let's
with
go.
me."
You can sleep with me tonight." I said, "Wow." And then they start to form a relationship.
Yeah. That was, oh my God. It
was just incredible. Even the ending where they find out that they were on the wrong side of a resort.
Of a resort island.
And that they could get to
the
what's the name? And I even at first, because like I said, certain parts are super predictable. When Abigail went with Yaya on the hike, I said, "Yo, somebody ain't not coming back." Don't know who. Somebody not coming back from this hike. And then when they found out that they were on the resort and that they would be saved and that they could go back to their normal life, I said, okay. And then when Yaya went to walk to the elevator and Abigail held her hand, I said, yeah, because Abigail knows that life is about to go, it's about to shift back
to where it was.
To where it was.
And
she's about to go back to being at the bottom.
And Yaya almost confirms that because she's like, she looks at Abigail. She didn't look at it. She didn't even look at it. She said, when we get off this island, I can do stuff for you. I can do stuff. You can come and work for me.
Yes, which was crazy, right? Because as I'm sitting there watching that, when Abigail said, I gotta pee, I said, oh, Yaya about to die.
Yeah.
And she about to, I don't know what she's going to get to kill you with,
but she's
about to kill you.
Yep.
And then she starts coming after her with like a rock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, there's a part of me that felt bad. I'm like, yo, don't kill her. Don't kill her.
Yeah.
Y'all want to get out. Y'all want to get out. But then when Yaya said, I can make you my... When she said what she said,
yep.
I said, bro, right over the head.
I was like...
Right over the head. Right over the head.
I was like, get her.
Because you don't deserve it.
Get her. Yeah,
like, fam, my assistant?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yep.
You're not even trying to be on even playing ground with this woman.
Nope. You can come
who is the only reason you are currently alive.
You have just told her, said, well, you can come work for me, but you can be my assistant. You can be my, in other words, you can come back and you can come work for me, but you'll be my toilet manager.
Right.
And she's like, what?
No. Yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta go. But yes, Triangle of Sadness is currently streaming on Hulu, right?
Watch
so,
it. I mean, we gave you.
I gave you just play by play, but
pretty much. But you'll still
enjoy.
You will
it.
still
Trust me, you will still enjoy it.
The movie.
Trust me, you will still enjoy it.
And if by some chance it should win Best Picture, you'll see why.
Yes,
you will. You will
definitely.
You will
definitely see.
You won't be sitting there looking at it and saying, looking like Triangle of Sadness. What the heck?
Yeah. What the heck is
like?
Honestly, what I did when I saw that it was nominated, I said, "What the heck is this movie?" And it was a problem I had with the Oscars because I was like, I never heard of half of these movies.
Yeah, usually that is the case.
Yeah,
you never hear. But again,
there was only like 1 year since I started like actively watching the Oscars where like I heard, where I was actually proud the year that Bohemian Rhapsody, the year that Bohemian Rhapsody was nominated for Best Picture.
Yes.
That whole category. I was very proud of myself because
you had seen almost all
I had seen almost, there was only like 2 or 3 movies that I had to watch in that category. Yeah. Whereas this year, I had to go on a spree.
I had to go, like I told you yesterday, I spent
like I had to go on I
spent like the whole
spree
day watching stuff.
And watch movies. And
I still have not seen Banshees. But I will watch it before Sunday because again, I just want to see, if it has the potential to win, I just want to have seen it and say, okay, all right, I see why. I can understand why. Yeah.
But all of these movies, right? They were good.
Yeah.
Oh, they were good.
Yeah.
There's still like 2 I haven't seen.
Yeah, there's still I think about 2 that I have not seen.
But
remember I was telling you about the other movie I watched yesterday and I couldn't think of it. When you said predictable, it came back to me. Top Gun Maverick.
Oh yes, incredibly predictable.
That movie was like watching the original one, but with better effects.
Yes.
I was like, this is the same thing almost.
Yes.
I already knew what was, and I was predicting what was going to happen and how it was going to happen.
And how it was going to work, and it worked. But I still think it was.
It was good. No, I'm not saying it was predictable in a bad way,
right?
And that I didn't enjoy it. I mean, I did. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Right? Wasn't that Lady Gaga song good though?
Oh, that was Lady Gaga.
That was Lady Gaga.
That was a good song. That was a good song.
I'm like, yo, sis, you better go ahead.
That was a good song.
You better go ahead. Like, I would like, right? Because I
didn't look at the end credits, so I didn't know who was singing it.
Right.
But I was listening to the song. I was like, wow, this is a great song.
Yeah, it's Lady Gaga.
Okay. Great
Lady
song.
Gaga.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was a good song.
I'm like, fam, I don't need you to ever make like actual music ever again. Yeah. But if you just decide to do like songs for movies,
movie soundtracks,
movie tracks, keep going, girl.
Yeah,
you got it. But that's honestly right. I sat here to say that's my pick for Best Picture.
Which one?
Top Gun.
Top Gun? Really?
Gun. Yeah.
It's not. You know what? My pick again. My pick. It probably won't win. I'm almost sure that it's probably going to be everything, and yeah,
Yeah, everything everywhere.
every,
'Cause it's been just like
I'm almost sure that
blowing through
yeah.
awards
I'm
season.
almost sure that that's going to be that seems to be the cinema darling for this year, and so I'm almost sure that's going to win. But if I had my druthers, it would be Elvis.
Got it.
It-
Actually, no, I'm gonna take that back. I do believe that Everything Everywhere All at Once is gonna win.
yeah, and not that I didn't like it. It was
Yeah.
good. It was a great movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Great movie.
But Banshees of Inisherin.
You think that's going to win?
No, that's what I want to win.
You want it to win?
Yeah.
You liked it that much?
Yes.
Oh, then see again. Now,
Banshees.
I gotta
Banshees
watch
of
it now.
Inisherin. I really enjoyed that movie.
I still have not.
Like just weighing it against Top Gun. Top Gun was cool, but yeah, Banshees of Inisherin I definitely enjoyed a whole lot more than Top Gun.
Okay, I definitely gotta check that out
Yes.
before Sunday. Again, it's Ireland to me is so depressing. It's just like it's like if they're doing a movie and you end up in Ireland, I'm looking at it like, that looks like it's gonna be sad. I'm not watching that.
Oh, Greg, I don't appreciate you talking about my country, but it's fine.
I'm sorry.
I don't appreciate that.
And then it's like
Ancestry.com. Bless you. Bless you. Ancestry told me that I'm 3% Irish. I don't appreciate you talking about my country. Okay, thanks. Go ahead.
and then it's like the other part of it is got two actors that I've never been crazy about in the starring roles. Brendan
Farrell
Gleeson
and Brendan Gleeson.
and Colin Farrell. I'm two people actors I've never been particularly crazy about. So it's like, and to see them in this, I don't know, to see them playing off each other. It's like I don't know if I could do that. But again, they are from what I've heard, but their chemistry is really good.
No, it is.
Their
It
chemistry is good
really
together.
shows that, like,
Um,
and it's like, it's almost, they don't have to do a lot to tell you that, to show you that they were friends.
yeah, because they're friends off camera,
Yes.
as well as on camera.
As well as on camera.
Yeah.
So they don't have to do much to make it believable that this, like, honestly, should they decide to stop being friends, this movie, I think, is how that would play out.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Again, I will watch it. I will definitely watch it because it probably will win. I don't think it'll win better. I really don't think.
No, I don't think it's going to win, but
think
that's
it's
what I want to win.
Yeah. But because I really think everything
Everywhere all at once. Yeah.
all at once. That's going to be the win. But again, if I had my druthers, it would be Elvis.
It'll be ours.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, Oscars come on Sunday.
Yeah.
I will be watching that.
Yeah.
Once I put the kid to bed. Oh, Greg, I'm going to be a parent this weekend.
Oh, okay. You're babysitting?
Yeah.
You're
I'm gonna
babysitting.
be a parent this weekend.
Okay.
So get to see what that's like for a
Yeah.
weekend.
Good luck.
Thank you. And then, but it's the best part of parenting,
Oh,
of parenthood, because now this will be the first time. It'll be the whole weekend. Like it'll literally be. I get them Friday. Lee and Pat, their flights doesn't land until like 4:00 Monday morning.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you gonna have the three of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna find out what it's like to have 3 kids.
Yeah. Oof.
So
Okay.
yeah. But so you know,
my boys.
yeah. But it's dope because I'm very proud of being an uncle because it's all the best parts of parenthood without any of the stress. Because if I want to feel like a parent, I can go get them at my will because they're parents.
Yep.
They won't say no if I say I want
wanna
to take them.
with. Yeah. I want to spend
Right?
time.
They won't
with
say
them.
no. But the greatest part is
You get to bring them.
I get to bring them home.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
the beautiful part is that you get to take.
I
Them
get to
home.
take them home.
And not that they're bad kids.
No, not at all.
But it's just the fact that
But it's just I get
to bring them
I
home.
get to bring them home.
Yep.
And I get to be kidless and just
Yep.
you know?
You get to have that. You get to have that feeling
Yes.
that that euphoric, wonderful feeling that comes with being a parent.
And then I get to just go back to being
It's
not a parent. I get to go back to that euphoric feeling of not being a parent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it, you know? And I'm just more appreciative because, Bill's getting ready to have kid number 2, as he said. And so that because he's about to have another kid, every kid my siblings have for me is a kid I don't have to have.
Yeah.
So, I'm very cool, with that, and I'm grateful.
But they're bigger now. Your boys are bigger.
Yes,
Yeah,
this weekend is easier because they're not bigger and for the most part
kind of independent
and like self-efficient. Like I just got to make food for them.
You just got to make sure they eat.
Yeah, I just got to make sure they eat and that they bathe. Like, because let's be honest, they're boys.
No, they're
like
boys
we don't at that age we don't care about like bathing. So I just got to make sure that they eat and that they bathe, and that's pretty simple. Like I can do that because I can cook and I can make sure I can supervise. Great.
That's it.
So but yeah. So at once, I'll probably start late, but I will be watching the Oscars on Sunday.
Yeah.
I will be doing that.
Is Rihanna performing?
I think so, yes. I do believe so,
yeah.
yes. And honestly, I hope she doesn't perform Lift Me Up, but I think that's what she's going to perform.
Oh, yeah, no.
Because for the most part,
that's definitely
they perform the songs that they sang in the movie. But let's be honest, I love Rihanna. Mm-hmm. Love Rihanna. Lift Me Up is no Shallow.
No, I'm sorry, y'all.
Like, Lift Me Up is no Shallow.
I'm like you. I love Rihanna.
Love Rihanna. And
so,
Lift Me Up, right?
And Lift Me Up is a great song.
Played in the right moment.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Great song.
But
it's no Shallow.
It's not shallow, no.
And don't get me wrong, she could come and do what Lady Gaga and why can't I think of dude's name?
But you know what song's gonna win for best song?
What song?
It's probably not gonna be neither the song because the Lady Gaga song from Top Gun is that?
Yes, it is nominated.
That's nominated.
It's nominated as well.
The one that's probably gonna win. There's a song from this movie called RRR.
Oh, that song is gonna win.
That's gonna win.
That's gonna win.
That's gonna be the one.
That song is gonna win.
But
yeah,
I listened to it once. I'm not really big on Bollywood type songs.
Right.
And I'm not really big on that kind of song. But I listened to the song. I was like, okay, that's kind of catchy.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's going to win.
Yeah.
And I honestly might have to like get into like Bollywood movies.
Yeah. I said I might have to kind of like go back and
because
revisit.
I saw recently a clip from a movie. Mm-hmm. And it was like a wartime movie. Mm-hmm. But the guys, they had to get over a wall. Mm-hmm. So what they did was, dude ran up a tree, causing the tree to lean over.
I saw that. Yeah.
And then when they got into like the shield formation, I said, I need to know more about this movie.
Yeah.
Because if it has more scenes like this, I think I might highly enjoy that movie. Yeah. So I need to find out more about it. But yeah. So definitely. But like I said,
I will be watching
the Oscars this Sunday. Seeing if someone gets drop kicked, slapped, punched in the throat.
This will be a slap-free Oscar.
Elbow. And I said all that to say I watched Chris Rock stand up on Saturday.
We're going into that now?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Yes.
What'd you think?
Well,
I got a whole bunch of stuff.
Let's put it this way. I was never big on Chris Rock stand-up. That has not changed.
Okay. Yeah. So you didn't walk away more of a fan of Chris?
No.
Okay.
It didn't change. Like, I didn't leave that wanting to watch more Chris Rock stand-up.
Okay.
Because I've never been a fan of it. Mm-hmm. And, like, I've never been a fan of his brand of comedy on stage. So, it was, it had, I think, honestly, I wrote down how many times I laughed. Once.
Wow.
Whole time.
Wow.
I laughed once.
Other than that, it was kind of cringy to you?
Not cringy. I was just bored. It wasn't good. It wasn't funny. Like, not like, Okay, I gotta change that. It wasn't funny.
A lot of the stuff he said was, and again, I like Chris. I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I like Chris Rock. I'm a fan of Chris Rock, and his type of humor. You kind of like you gotta kind of his kind of humor is really dark. I mean, really dark. And the funny part about it, his stand-up routine has always. I'm talking about from when the first time Eddie Murphy brought him on TV, because Eddie Murphy was like the one who brought him into the game. The first time I saw Chris Rock, he was like barely just out of his teens, or he might have still been in his teens, and they were interviewing. Oprah was interviewing Eddie Murphy, and she said, "Well, I heard you have this new protege that you're bringing into the game, and you want to debut him here on my show." And Oprah was, and
I don't think that was smart, but
not at all, because nobody was ready for what happened.
yeah,
And so
I don't think that was smart at all.
They said, Eddie introduced Chris Rock. He comes out on stage and he's just like, a little tiny, skinny, Pookie-esque
Yeah.
Chris Rock. He comes out on the stage and he starts his monologue. And one of the things he talked about, I don't remember if it was his opening, but it was like towards later on in his monologue, because it wasn't a long monologue. But
Right.
again, he's doing his routine, and he starts talking about making jokes about teen suicide. I'm sitting there like, what? I'm like, out of all the,
Right.
he starts talking about teen suicide and the difference between black people and white people in this particular area. And I'm sitting there like, because now our audience is predominantly, it's Oprah, is predominantly white. And I'm sitting there listening to them. Eddie is sitting on the side cracking up because he's probably looking at the people's faces. And that made me laugh many more so than what he was saying. Because what he was saying was, I was sitting there like, wow, that's kind of dark. But I'm looking at the people's faces. I'm like, oh God, I bet you didn't think you was going to be hearing something.
Right. That is not what you was expecting.
That you did not sign up for this ride. And so I'm sitting there. And so I have followed him since then. And that's always been his style of comedy, his style of humor. If it's the darker it is, if it's dark, some people might think it. He's going to say it.
Right.
He's going to say it. He's going to say it. And has no problem. No problem.
And that was cool. But honestly, I don't know what it wasn't.
But let me finish. This wasn't funny in that sense because of the fact that there was just so much dark stuff. And you could even tell he was struggling with it. He wasn't as natural with stuff. He was kind of struggling with a lot of the stuff. But this was more like a therapy session. I'm sitting there looking at him like, dude, why are we watching your therapy?
Just go talk to somebody.
Yeah, go hug it out.
Right.
Go get a room somewhere and hug it out or do something else. I said, but it's like this is like watching a really, really intense therapy session, and he was saying stuff, but you didn't know if you should laugh or if you shouldn't laugh, because some of the stuff that he said was just so not even some of the stuff was just so dark. It was just like, oh God, that is just so not funny. And I'm sitting there, even the people that was out there laughing in the audience, they're laughing because they paid for these tickets. They was like,
Right.
I paid X amount of dollars. I'm going to laugh my behind off.
Right.
But some of the stuff was just like,
Yeah, it just
ooh, man.
like the only thing what was the joke? It was something
I was going to say, what did you find out that you really
I really laughed at.
I had nothing.
It was the end of the joke. Basically, it was about like the accidental racism.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why can't I think of that joke? It had something to do with like accidental racism with like OJ.
Okay. See, and you know what else? What else I found out too is that in the process of waiting for him to go in on Will Smith, there was a lot of stuff he was saying that I probably didn't hear.
Yeah.
Because I was so waiting in anticipation, like everybody else who was watching, for him to get to that portion of his stand up and to hear what he was going to say about that.
I was waiting
and
to
so
now, but all right.
you're kind of like I was kind of like sitting there, and he was saying stuff, and some of it was, came through loud and clear, but it was kind of really dark. But then you were kind of like, a lot of stuff he was saying, you probably really weren't paying that close attention to. I said, so I will go back and watch it again to see exactly what I mean. Not that I thought that it was funny, because funny is funny, and a lot of the stuff that he was saying was not particularly funny. Some of it was really, really, like I said, dark and kind of difficult to laugh at. It was even kind of difficult to even chuckle about, because it was like, oh man, dude, really?
Wait, no, I laughed twice.
Okay.
Because this might be kind of dark, but like you said,
it was dark.
But I did kind of laugh when he said you should when he said that if he said, ladies, if you have to pay for an abortion, then you should have an abortion.
Yeah.
But then when he said that you should be able to get one up until the baby's 4 years old,
I was like, what?
I laughed. And I was like, yo, that's true. Because sometimes you just be looking at your kid, you just be like, yo, what you talking about? Like, shut up. But, again,
it's like,
so that
but here's the thing. You might look at you might think it, but it's like, would you actually say that out loud?
And now you don't have to, because Chris Rock did it. Now you don't have to. Now you don't have to. You're just laughing in agreement.
I'm sitting there listening to and I'm listening to him, and again, like I said, I'm waiting for him to get to the Will Smith portion of the monologue, and so a lot of stuff I really was, but I could tell, he was struggling. He was not as, and even though everybody tried to pretend he was, if you go back and look at some of his other, like go back on HBO and look at some of his other stuff that he's done, his other stand-up routines, you would see that he was really, there was, a matter of fact, at the end of it all, when he finally does the mic drop, if you look at his eyes, he looked like he was his eyes were starting to get moist. Because again, he was really, really struggling. He even said in the midst of one of the jokes he was doing, he said, "Oh man, I effed up the joke." That's not. No, he would never do that. He would never. That would have never happened. But in this one, because it was just probably so intense, so tense, and he was trying to get out so much stuff, and it's interesting trying to help himself. I'm sure at some point trying to help himself, but yet trying to please the people or defend himself in front of people who have been waiting for him to say something. And now it's like, okay, I got to say something, and it's got to be funny, but it really wasn't funny. It was kind of just weird. It was kind of just.
And for me personally, I think I was on the other side where I wasn't waiting for. I was hoping he did not mention.
Oh no, I was waiting for that.
That because, like I've said already, I'm over it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to move. Other than like the light jokes I make just about the Oscars and like hoping that somebody tops it.
That it's slap free.
No, I'm not hoping it's slap free. I'm hoping somebody gets suplexed this year at the Oscars.
But I'm listening to him and I'm watching him because I kind of like watch people and I'm looking at his body language and he just looked like he was just in so much pain.
That's because you should have talked to somebody instead of doing stand-up about it. I get that you're a comedian and you gotta
or did all of that in an interview. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Honestly,
if you had to do it at all, it should have been. I thought you could have done an interview.
But you can tell that he hasn't actually personally dealt with it.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna fine. If you want to do comedy about it, bro, please go talk to somebody about it first.
Yeah.
And then come back and make jokes.
Yeah.
Because then you might come back and make different jokes. Because what you can't do, right? And what he did, he was like, I'm not a victim.
Yeah. Yep.
But then you turn around and say, he's bigger than me and he can beat me in a fight. Excuse me, what is that calling yourself?
You're calling yourself a victim. And the other thing is that when he said that, I said, I said when he said just like you, he said, look, he's bigger than me, he's physically bigger than me, and da 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 da, and he chose this time. But out of all the other people that talked about him, he chose to pick on me. He chose to hit me.
Right.
I said, but here's the thing. I said that's kind of like what you did to Jada. You were bigger than her,
Right.
and not only that, but you were the comedian with the mic. And so out of everybody in the audience,
You chose her.
you chose her.
And he.
So it's like you did to her. You didn't physically slap her.
But you mentally slapped her. And the only difference was he physically slapped you.
The only thing is the fact that, and it's just like it's and a lot of people applauded the stand, and I'm like, that was not applaudable.
No, it wasn't. That wasn't a mic drop worthy joke either.
The last part, and I'll see again.
That was not mic drop worthy.
No,
saying,
not if you look at what a mic drop is supposed to represent. No, but it was a mic drop worthy moment only in the sense, for me at least, it was a mic drop worthy moment only in the sense that if you had been paying attention to what he said in that last joke, that last line he said, and when he said it, me and my wife was watching it, and we was like, whoa. When I was like, I said, I guarantee you, most people, and except maybe older black people, did not catch what he said. He said the real reason, and that's taking me, that's going to take us into a whole nother section. He said the real reason, he said, I didn't respond. He said the real reason I didn't respond. So it's sort of like what Dave Chappelle said when he was talking about the LGBTQ community, when he said, I'm not going to say nothing else about this until we're all able to laugh about it together. Nobody caught that. They were just so focused on the fact that you said something. But here's the thing. He said the real reason I did not respond, he said, because I could have responded. That's the real reason I didn't jump up. He said, because I was raised. He said, I was raised by a black woman. He said, I was raised. And he said, and the one thing, he said, the only thing I could hear in my head was my mother saying, don't be fighting out here in front of these white people. And that's when he dropped the mic. And when he said that, me and my wife was like, whoa. Because again, we were taught when we were growing up, even when we were growing up, if black people had issues with each other, we did not air out our issues in front of white people.
Right.
And to him, he could have responded, but what? And me and my wife were talking about it because he could have responded, but what would have happened? He would have responded. He would have jumped because he could have ran across the stage and jumped on Will Smith's back.
Yeah.
But then his people would have been running from one side. Will Smith's entourage would have been running from the other side. Next thing you know, there would have been a whole bunch of black people up on stage fighting each other at the Oscars.
And then maybe the whole thing would have burned down, and then they wouldn't have had no more Oscars. And then we would have had to find another venue.
Here's the thing. That wouldn't have happened.
No, I know.
That wouldn't have happened. What would have happened was it would have looked like the Source Awards up in that place. But here's the thing. But this is what would have been the result of all of it. See, that's why we don't let them in.
Fine.
That's why we don't let them in.
Then close the door and stop asking us for stuff.
That's why. But but here's the thing. We are out there in Hollywood. We have built Hollywood. We have made Hollywood. We have made Hollywood. We have done. Period. We have done stuff in Hollywood. So we deserve our place at the table. Now you're absolutely right. Sometimes we've talked about this before. You need to make your own table.
Yeah.
We need to make our own tables.
Yeah.
We need to make I think that's going to happen at some point. But here's the thing. But as long as that seems to be a place of validation or should be a place of validation for us, we should be allowed, because here it is, we are contributing to that culture. We are contributing to that art. We are contributing to that art. So therefore, we should be allowed, we should be given entry and be welcomed being welcome without us. See, here's the thing: without us having to boycott, without us having to make a big deal about stuff, it should be like, dude, you made a good film. Dude, you made a good film. Dude, you made a good film. You made a good soundtrack. Dude, you did this. You did great cinematography. We should it should be like, so. Therefore, our films should always be. Shaft in Africa should have been considered. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's like we have made quality stuff. We have made Oscar-worthy stuff, but we have always had to fight our way to the table. And if that had progressed onto something or had spilled out into the audience or had spilled out into the back end of the Oscars, the first thing there is to see that. That's why we don't let them in.
And then that would have been the perfect opportunity to say, forget the Oscars as a whole and start, because again, I don't think we as a people need it.
No, we don't.
We don't need it. We should not require their validation.
Yeah.
Because again, the needle doesn't move without us.
Exactly. But here's the thing: we don't need their validation. We should not need their validation. But to some degree, we do.
And that's because of how we were conditioned by who? Them. And until we just got to break free from that. And once we do that, then we fine, because then we won't need it.
Yeah.
So then we will continue to do what we have to do for each other.
Yeah.
Because, fam, look at, as much as people don't like him, Tyler Perry.
Mm-hmm. Tyler Perry owns.
He not looking for their validation. Why? He went and bought a military base and turned it into a film studio and can do now
what he wants.
Yeah.
He is one of the few black creators of content that's out there today and you can like it or not like his content. Or like it. But here's the thing, he at least has the power.
Right.
To do
now you
whatever.
can hate how he got here.
Yeah. That's irrelevant.
But he's here now.
He is here.
And at any given chance, he is telling stories for us.
Yeah.
With us.
Yep.
Like he's telling stories by us, for us, and with us.
And stories that we can relate
to.
Yeah.
So it can be done.
It can. It definitely can be done. But, and again, I'm thinking that I go back to the history even of the Oscars, where I think about the Hattie McDaniel, was the first black actress to win an Oscar. She forgone with the win, and she could come to the Oscars. She was allowed to come, but she couldn't sit outside amongst the other actors, the other actors. She couldn't. She had to sit in the back.
Right.
And so I can't remember whether. No, she was there because she did get her Oscar on camera. You can find it where you can see her receiving her Oscar on camera. But this is one of these stories that you may not always hear about. But she could not sit out there with them. It was like when she finished, she had to go right back into the back or wherever it was they had her sit until it was time for her to receive her Oscar. But here it is, and here it is. That was back in the 50s, 60s, when she won that award. Now play it forward to here it is in the 2000s, and still we don't. You
can count on one hand.
You can count on exactly.
Like the men who won for like best actor,
we are
the women who won for best actress.
Yep. And so now, because look what they did. Because look what they did to Will Smith again. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have, or there shouldn't have been some sort of. They shouldn't have been some sort of penalty. I think the penalty was a little extreme because now it's like you have been banned from appearing at the Oscars. So that means, regardless of what kind of content you put out there now, first of all, it's probably not even going to be considered. And even if it is considered and you do win, you can't come to the Oscars to get it for the next 10 years. I'm like, So we go. It's almost like, see, we're gonna let y'all come. We're gonna continue, but y'all gonna act right. And if you don't act right, this is what's gonna happen.
More of a reason
Yeah.
why it
Again,
should not matter.
I get it. And again, some people, I've heard other people say that, and I get it. But I look at it from an artist perspective, and from a black artist perspective in particular, and I'm like, look, it's like we shouldn't be shut out, because we contribute to this. We contribute to the culture. We contribute not to the culture, but we contribute to the art form of movie making and stuff. We contribute to all of that, and we have always been active in contributing to that. So it's like, you know what? It's like, you know what? You guys should consider us. You guys should, or again, because we could walk away and just say, throw up our hands and say, you know what? Psst, we'll do our own. And to some degree, we've started that process, but it's like I would still be feeling some kind of way, because it's like, you know what? We go out here, we grind, and we put out good art, and we could put out good product, and we put it out there, and it's well received. And when I say good product, I'm not saying product that's not well received. I'm talking about product that's well received. Here it is. I was watching this documentary on Netflix, about black film. I forgot the name of it. Um, I can't. If I think of the name of it, I'll give it to you so you can watch it. But it was interesting. The movie Superfly, not the remake, the reboot, but the original Superfly. It was about a drug kingpin, a black drug kingpin, named Priest. But it was telling his story, or whatever. Movie was well made, well received, awesome soundtrack, and did well. Did well. Because when you look at the documentary, you would think that it only did well. And here's the thing, you would think that it only did well where there were a lot of black people.
Right.
Superfly did well in communities that were all white. That's how good it was. Shaft in Africa did well in communities and cities that were not all black. Because again, here it is. We love to go to the movies. We black people, we love movies. We love to support we support the cinema as much as we can, but we don't always have those kind of resources. So if the movie is making all this money, I know it's more than just black people going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
There's more than black people going to see it. So it's like in Boston, he said, even the guy who was doing the documentary, he said in Boston, and he quoted some sort of astronomical number of how Superfly did in Boston. He was like, there ain't that many black people in Boston.
Right.
And yet Boston was one of the places that it did big in. And he said, so more than just us was going to see. So again, going back to what I said. So therefore, you can't say that they're not going to see these movies, and then they're not going to see our movies. So therefore, if they're going to see our movies, then we should be given. So that means that our movies have some sort of accreditation, and have some sort of draw, and have some sort of that would make you want to go see it. And so therefore, if we're pulling in those kind of numbers, we should be considered. Now, I don't think Superfly was considered for an Oscar nomination or anything like that. Well, definitely there wasn't no best picture. I do believe it was the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
The soundtrack is a classic amongst movie soundtrack. Curtis Mayfield, that was some of his best work. Not that he didn't already have a legacy of good music, but this was like the cream of the crop for him. And if I remember correctly, I believe he did win an Oscar. He did win an Oscar for Superfly. That they won for best song or best movie soundtrack. But again, it's like when Chris Rock said what he said, that was the only thing that really kind of moved me because of the fact that I understood. Because when he didn't respond, because even when he didn't respond, I kept looking. When he didn't respond, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know. Will you wouldn't have walked away.
Right.
You'd have walked away, but you'd have walked away with me on your back. It's like, but it should have never got to that point. My thing is with all of that, and I said this when we talked about it before, if I was that vexed or that bothered by what you said, I would have just very nonchalantly got up from my seat, and when you went and got off the stage, I would have met you in the back, and I'm not to fight you, but I would have just told you very nonchalantly that, you know what, I was offended by what you said. My wife was offended and insulted by what you said. Again, I'm not here I just want you to know, and I think you're better. I think you're better than that. I don't want you, I'm not asking for an apology. I'm not asking for you to do nothing, but I want you to know, man to man, that I was offended by what you did, and my wife was offended. And I'm just saying, what you do with it after that, it's on you.
Yeah, that's cool. But then he might have came back and like made jokes about that.
See,
sometimes open disrespect needs to be handled openly.
But here's the thing. But see, that's the culture. You moved us into this culture now, where that's going to be, if we're not careful, that is going to become the norm. Whereas now it's like, all right, if you openly disrespect me, I'm going to openly handle that. Now, it's like, all right, I could handle it. Again, I could handle it. But here's the thing. I got to be careful about where I'm at.
Yeah, now, don't get me wrong. You yourself have to weigh.
Yeah. See, but it's that.
But sometimes, right?
But that's not the culture. That's not the move, that the shift that the culture is experiencing, or even just the world is experiencing, where now it's going to be like open season. Well, hey, Will Smith got away with it. Why can't I get away with it? So he disrespected me, or she disrespected me, or that person disrespected me. Now I'm going to go up there and slap. And I'm saying, and that's a little extreme. But now I'm going to curse them out. Now I'm going to go slap them. Now I'm going to do this, and you're going into a whole different area. But again, I heard somebody say that they said that we have activated this now into our lives, where now it's going to be like you just said, you disrespecting me, man. I'm handling it. I'm gonna punch you in your face.
So now, not only do I need to think twice about how I handle it, you need to think twice about what you said.
Yes.
Watch what you say.
And
you may watch what you say, because you may or may not get slapped at the Oscars.
So we got to, again.
You may or may not get slapped at the Oscars if you don't watch what you say.
We gotta love each other a little bit better than that, man. Because it's like we can't keep going. We can't keep. You make it difficult for the comedian to be the comedian and do what they do, but again, you make it difficult because because again, that's his art. That's what he does. But you can't. But the comedian, you can't be disrespectful,
right?
Either because of the fact that, and then hide behind your art,
right? Because Cat Williams said it, who is a comedian. Mm-hmm. He said, if you are not able to adapt with the times and still be funny, then you were never funny in the first place.
Yeah.
If all you got is like, if that's all you got is to like talk about people and like, and he was like, if you're not able to adapt and move and shake with the times, you're never funny in the first place.
Yep. Somebody pointed out, who was it? Old school comedian, Don Rickles. I used to watch Don Rickles come on TV, and he would rip people to shreds, man. People be sitting on, if he was hosting a show or something, he would just like go off on people, and people, in most cases, people always laughed it off. I've watched, and then somebody brought up Ricky Gervais. Mm-hmm. Ricky Gervais was just, to me, he wasn't even funny. He was just mean. He would just get up there and like with the Golden Globes, he had hosted the Golden, and he would just say really, really mean stuff. in other words, some of the stuff that he would say about the people sitting in the audience, to me, that was kind of like, you know what, Ricky, I might have to come up there and slap you.
Right.
You know, again, but it's like, because they were saying that, well, and he never got slapped. I said, oh, that's because the people in the audience was kind of like handling their stuff. And what's really interesting is that you're taking a big chance of doing that at the Golden Globes, because now they're out there drinking.
Yeah.
They're not,
And what I don't think it should be, right, not defending Will Smith and like the slap or whatever.
No.
But, and I can't believe we're back here
I know.
again. But what happens is, right, people say, like, people have said more mean things and like nobody has gotten slapped. What I don't think people are taking into consideration when it came to Will's mental state when he slapped him.
Yes.
That joke, like I said, when it first happened, was the straw that broke the camel's back.
And what you had was a human being having a human moment, and he had had enough.
He had had enough. Like, that was what pushed him over the edge.
Yeah.
I could have made a joke about you today, but if nobody had been talking about you, like if nobody had been kicking your back in for the last month and a half to 2 months, like for like the last 3, 4, 5 months, if nobody was kicking your back in,
and
this one joke is just one joke.
And with all of that, I said, at the end of that, because and people even said, well, Will Smith even laughed about it. I said, yes, he laughed about it, because that's what they do. When you say when the comedian says something from the stage and about a celebrity, you know, that's what they've been trained to do. You kind of like just laugh it off. But then when he looked over at his wife and saw that
he might have thought the joke was funny until he looked at his wife and said that and saw that joke was not funny.
Was not funny to him.
He could have been sitting there and was like, that was actually because again, the joke was funny.
Yeah. It was
the joke was funny.
It was funny.
If we're being honest, it was funny.
It was nobody thought because nobody went that deep into it until afterwards, and then it was like, oh, wait a minute, oh yeah, I guess that kind of was just like
the joke was funny.
Yeah, that was, but it was.
But then he looked at her.
Yeah,
she didn't like it,
and she didn't like it.
So then he had to do what husbands do in that situation and handle it.
Because
she might have went up and slapped him if it was like her.
And the thing about it is, I was telling somebody this is that, and then you forget, and because now a lot of people have been pointing their fingers at Jada and saying that she's the devil woman and she's the cause of all of this, blah blah blah, and I said what you have to remember is that I don't care what you say about her, I don't care what she's done. At the end of the day, Will Smith loves Jada. In order for him to have to tolerate it and dealt with some of the stuff that I said, he has to love her. I said, he loves her. And the thing is that unless you've really been in that kind of love, you might not understand that it's like, all right, yeah, I don't care what she did. She could have jumped up and spit at Chris Rock or something like that. But you know what? You better keep her name out your mouth.
Right.
I don't care.
As she said, keep
your wife's name out your
effing mouth.
At the end of it, I said he was already stressed out. He was already worked. He was already worked over. You know what? He had just had enough. It was a man who had built his whole career on trying to be perfect, trying to be exactly who everybody wanted him to be, the way they wanted him to be it. And then it's like, then just to constantly be judged and have, like you said, have your back kicked in at every given moment. It's like, you know what? That's it. Enough is enough. And you caught him at a bad time. You just caught him.
That's it. You caught him on the wrong day.
You caught him at a bad time.
As black people love to say, you picked the right one today. Like,
yeah. You just caught him at a bad
time.
And it's unfortunate. That it's even more so unfortunate that we're still talking about it. But I don't know. And it's interesting. You would think that some things, I guess, you kind of like just need to just spew them out into the air. And then be done with it. because the more it doesn't seem like you would hope that with the talking about it that we would come to a resolution, but there is no. It seems like the more we talk about it, the worse.
That's because he waited a year to put out a stand-up special about it.
The worse it gets.
I promise you, Chris Rock's put this stand-up special out 3 months after the slap happens. We are not talking about the slap today.
Yeah.
We'd be bringing it up only because the Oscars are this weekend.
There you go. That was strategic. All of that was
strategic. Like, it's only because the Oscars are this weekend that we like the slap and the stand-up special. But like, they'd have probably made like comedians, not even like mainstream media, like comedians might have made jokes about it leading up to because the slap. But like, fam, nobody cares anymore. Like, I stopped caring literally 2 days after it happened. I did not care anymore, and I
wish I could say I stopped caring. The only reason I didn't stop caring because I knew that we were not going to let it go. Social media was not going to let it go. The media was not going to let it go. This was going to be something that was just going to be just...
I wish they had.
And you know what's really funny? I sometimes wonder if anybody other than Will Smith had done this, would we still be talking about it?
No, because it wouldn't have been that big of a deal at the Oscars.
It wouldn't have been that big a deal.
But that's just,
If Denzel Washington, well, no, we'd still be talking about it. If it was
no,
Denzel.
we'd still be talking about it. You know if who did it. You know who, if who had done it.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been that big a deal.
Who can you think of that? If they had done it, it wouldn't have been as big a deal.
Because let's be honest, Brad Pitt slapped somebody at the Oscars. Ain't nobody talking about it.
Oh, they'd have talked about it for a while, but it would have been quick. It would have been really over.
If Brad Pitt Brad Pitt went and slapped Ricky Gervais at the Oscars, nobody's talking about it right now.
Nobody's talking about it. Matter of fact,
nobody's talking about it right now. He's not. No. Brad Pitt's not banned for 10 years.
No. Heck no. Brad Pitt's not being banned for 10 years. No.
But like I said, we're not getting back into that. We just fresh. We fresh off Black History Month into the best month of the year. My birthday's coming up.
That's right. This is your birthday month.
This is my birthday month. That's right.
Do anything special for your birthday? Have any special plans?
No, because believe it or not, right? I get like really excited for my birthday, but then, and I always start off like planning for my birthday. Closer I get to my birthday, I never really want to do anything.
Yeah, I know.
So I might go to the movies.
I want to do something. I have all these grandiose plans. I'm like you. I have all these grandiose plans for my birthday until it gets close to my birthday. Then it's like, I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah, I don't want to do it.
Even though I'm the one who came up with the plans. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to do anything.
Because I was supposed to, initially I was supposed to be going to DC for my birthday. Just because like I've never gone away anywhere.
That's a good idea.
For my birthday. But then it was just like, do you really want to do that? No.
Well,
not really.
My idea for my birthday this year was I wanted to do like a theme, something thematic. And I'm a big Harry Potter fan. And I forgot that in New York, there is a Harry Potter based store. And I forgot all about it. I was when I was in the hospital. One of the nurses came in and she saw my bag and she said, "Oh, I like that bag." And I was, she's like, "Are you a fan?" I said, "Oh yeah, I'm a big fan." And so she said to me, she said, "Have you gone to the store in New York?" I was like, "Oh, that's right. I forgot about the store in New York." And so we started talking about the store. She had been there. She was saying how cool it was. And so I was like, you know what? So my birthday's coming up. I said, maybe. And then I thought about the play. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Yeah. I was like, yeah. I said, maybe that's what I'll do for my birthday this year.
I'll go. They're trying to make it a movie?
Huh? Are they really? They kept saying that they wasn't. I'm like, yeah, y'all gonna make that. That's gonna be a movie. That's gonna be a movie. It's got to. It's like, since you did it and you put it on Broadway and it's been relatively successful, you gotta. It's almost like you gotta make it into a movie. It's just
because one, it made like mad money overseas before it even came to Broadway.
Here. It's like it's a given. You're gonna make it.
Like it was released as a book. I got the book too. I read it. It was really good.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, I have to read. See, I didn't. I want to read now. Again, I want to read the book. But what I said,
it's just the screenplay.
Yeah, they give you the screenplay, and so what I said, I wanted to maybe for my birthday, I said go to the store and culminate the evening, go out to dinner, and then culminate the evening with going to see the play.
Yeah.
And make it like a thematic thing,
No, that's dope. Actually, speaking of the Oscars and thematic birthdays, that's what I did for my 30th.
What?
I rented out a movie theater.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember.
I rented out a movie theater.
Yeah,
and then I had everyone get dressed as if we were going to the Oscars.
Oh wow! What movie? What did y'all go see?
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to go see King Kong, but it Kong versus Godzilla, but it didn't come out till like the weekend. Like it would have been too late.
Okay.
Yeah, like because I wanted to do it like on my birthday weekend, and it wasn't. Godzilla versus Kong came out the weekend after that.
Okay.
So it was just nah. So, but yeah, I went and bought me like this nice gold blazer, and had a blazer button up and some dress shoes. Going to the movies, and it was dope. It was dope.
Yeah. I mean,
it was dope.
You had a great time.
Yeah, it was dope. Like just having my pick of seats. Going to, because like I said, we rented out the whole theater, and at the time, COVID, like it was as the world was opening up.
Yeah.
So we had the entire theater, but I could only bring like 20 people. But it was only like 15 of us that went. Still, just the entire theater was just ours, and it was a dine-in. So
yeah,
that was just a cool moment.
Cool.
That was a cool moment.
That was cool.
But I probably, like I said, probably just go to the movies. Like I usually do, go out to eat.
I
just have some fun.
I like I said, I thought about it, and then I'm thinking about it. I said, yeah, that sounds like a good plan. And I make like the big plans, but the closer it gets to my birthday, I'm like, I'll do all that.
But I am accepting gifts. I started on March 1st.
You started accepting
gifts
on March 1st?
I am accepting gifts on March 1st. I will be accepting gifts all month.
All month? Gotcha.
Yes. So, I accept all major forms of payment: Cash App, Zelle, Apple Pay, Venmo, check, cash in hand,
money order. Anything cash.
Yes, anything, Metro card, because I do work in the city. You can give me like money towards the Metro card. I will definitely appreciate that. Just if you feel the need. If you're led by the Spirit to bless me for my birthday, I will not say no.
I will not say no.
I will not say no.
I will let you bless me.
Yes, I will just accept the blessing, because I don't want to block your blessing by not letting you bless me.
Gotcha.
So, I just want to, just accept that.
Just want to keep it flowing.
Yeah, just keep it flowing, just keep the wheels going.
Keep
just
it
keep
flowing.
Let's just keep the blessings flowing.
Yeah.
So, I will be accepting gifts. Someone has actually already started. I did get somebody cash at me earlier this week.
Really? For your birthday?
For my birthday.
Wow.
Because I said I'm accepting gifts all month long. So I did get a cash app this week for my birthday.
Hey.
But yeah. But this is good. I have one more thing, but I don't really want to talk about it anymore.
What was it?
I was Bel Air, but I don't really.
That's right. We were talking.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't. And again, I was gonna piggyback off you definitely on that one, because of the fact that I don't have Peacock streaming.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, Greg, why you didn't say nothing?
No, I don't have Peacock streaming. Now,
man, don't let me leave without giving you my login password.
Okay, cool. All right.
So you can. Yes.
Well, now with Peacock, with Peacock streaming, do they release it week? Is it week to week?
Unfortunately,
no, that's what I thought. I thought it was week to week.
Oh, what's the name comes out?
How many
today?
What comes out
today?
What?
You Part 2.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. It's today.
Oh, that's what I'll be watching. That's why you know what? And I knew it was coming. That's why I was trying to get all this other watching out. Because I know I want to.
You Part 2 comes out. Oh, I know what I'm about to go do.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. But yes, do not leave without getting.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll get it from you.
Yes, because you got to watch Bel Air.
I got it.
Because season 2 is definitely. It's just as good as the first one.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's just as good as the first one.
How many in are they?
This is 3 came out. Episode 3 released today.
Okay.
So Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll be watching this weekend, or probably for the rest of the weekend to the weekend.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
watching.
I'm watching you.
I'll be watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And not you.
not you, but you
I'll
know,
be watching
the
you.
television
you
show.
know.
You.
Yes, that did come out today.
That's right.
So yes, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
good. Good
Absolutely.
Show. Good show. Good
And
show.
the dope part is, right? I think this might be the first time where the episode drops on the day we record it.
Oh,
I'm gonna move heaven and earth to make sure this hits today.
are you gonna hit it? You gonna try to hit
Yeah, I'm
it
gonna
today?
move heaven and
Okay.
earth to make sure this hits today.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
we'll see y'all in a little bit.
that's right.
So
You'll be getting this in a few.
in a few, you'll be getting this in a few. But yeah. So until the next
then,
one, we out.